Welcome back, YouTube. Back with another video, back with another reaction. Look, 99% of you guys, man, is not subscribed to the most, the best channel, man. Make sure y'all hit that like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get into it, man. So we're gonna be watching this. I know some of you guys watch Power, man, and everybody missed Ghost. Some people think he did. Some people think he like anybody with a brain. No, he's alive. That's one of the smartest man. It's not just gonna lay down, roll over like that. Come on, man. Anybody knows better. Like, but let's see what is on though. Let's get into it though.
See, people take you at face value, Simon. Me, well, I have to transform to meet everyone's expectations constantly. Truth isn't one thing because I'm not one thing. You understand?
Now, it has been a while since we've spoken about the Power universe as a whole, where they are with the current spin-offs and just a general update and a roundup of the news. Although as expected, it has been pretty quiet on the Power universe teasers, clips, or anything Power related because we are in the Power off season. However, there is some big news that I do think will excite every single one of you, or at least it did for me when I heard about it, which I don't think should surprise anyone because they have teased before that Power never ends. And the news is, they're still cooking behind the scenes when it comes to new Power shows. Something is definitely brewing in the background, and I'm going to run through everything we know, some guesses and theories around what it could be. I'm also going to run through what I would like for them to show us, which is very different to what they've done before, and whether or not they could actually tempt a certain someone back in any of the new Power spin-offs. And I think you all know who that certain someone is.
I'm not afraid to die.
And I'm not afraid to kill you.
Nigga said I'm not afraid to kill you.
Now let's start with this Deadline article which broke the news that Gary Lennon, who let's not forget, used to be an executive producer on Power, but now the showrunner of Force. The article says that he signed a deal with Lionsgate to not just continue working on season 3 of Force, which they're filming at this moment in time, but to also work on development opportunities to expand the Power universe. The article goes on to read, Gary has been a major creative force in the Power universe. We look forward to extending our partnership as we collaborate with Starz to create new and unexpected franchise extensions for Power fans. Gary Lennon also said that Lionsgate Television has been the ideal production partner. Their creating team is unmatched. They've been incredibly supportive as we built and expanded the Power
That's kind of dope, bro. Partnering up with Lionsgate. Oh my god.
universe. They are a great home for talent looking to broaden their creative horizons. So that's the news from Deadline, which tells us behind the scenes they are working and certainly having conversations on new and unexpected franchise extensions for Power. Now what could that mean? Well, first things first, the fact that Gary Lennon seems to be the one involved in helping extend this universe, I think that's a huge bonus. Not only is Gary Lennon a huge Power OG, but he knows what Power is, what the fans enjoy and what we like to see. So Gary Lennon being involved, it really bodes well for whatever comes next. But what do we have at this moment in time? Let's start with the basics. We've got 4 shows in total across the Power universe, including OG Power. Power Book 2 Ghost followed on from the original series, where it picked up around 48 hours after the events of Power, which is now heading into its 4th season. They also cancelled the Rashad Tate spin-off and kind of integrated his storyline into Ghost, which I do think was a smart idea. As much as I would love to have had a political spin-off with Laurence Tate as the lead, I don't think it needed a spin-off of its own, and he does add a lot to Ghost in terms of his acting, his connections to Ghost, and now Tariq. So as much as I would like to have seen a political spin-off, it does make sense that they've kind of integrated his storyline into Ghost. Now Tommy's continued his journey on Force in Chicago, although there have been a couple of crossovers in both Ghost and Force, which I will come to in just a moment. And last but not least, there's my personal favourite, Raising Kanan, which is now filming its season 4. Now you would have to assume that there are still a couple of seasons left for all 3 of them. With Power Book 2 Ghost, you've got a super young cast with Michael Rainey Jr., Gianni, Alex, Woody McClain, and so on. And Courtney Kemp has gone on record to say if she was to do another Power spin-off, Effie would be a character she could potentially base it on. So just something to keep in mind. But regardless of this young cast, I'm not taking anything away from Method Man and Mary J. I do think both of them have added their own qualities. I think Mary J has grown into the role of Monet, and Method Man has absolutely bodied the role of Davis McLean. And then there's also...
I needed to remind you who you're dealing with, my brother.
But it's nothing like
Rashad Tate, who always brings the heat when he's on our screens. But with a super young cast and with the additions of the older heads, they can actually go on for a very long time. We also have to remember that Corny Kemp also once mentioned she had a very big shift planned for season 5, where after that shift, the show could kind of go on forever. Now what that shift is or what she had in mind, who knows, but we do have to remember that she is no longer the showrunner of Power Book 2 Ghost. Brett Mahoney came on board in season 3, and he might actually have plans to take the show in a
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm so glad she kind of gone, because it's like she was. I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes stuff, but Ghost definitely needed to come back for sure.
different direction with certain different characters. But having said that, we also have to bear in mind that Corny Kemp and 50 Cent are still the executive producers, so I do think they have an influence in some shape or form behind the scenes, although I'm not 100% sure. But what that shift is, who knows? Let's wait and see. I can actually see Ghost running for at least 6 seasons like the original, if not more. With Force, I'm not actually too sure if I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not 100% sure if it has 6 seasons like Ghost does, although I do think they were kind of hard done by, because Force Season 2 dropped during the actors and writers strike, where they couldn't really promote the show, and I'm not sure whether that actually hurt the numbers. They also had a bit of a reset with Season 2, with Gary Lennon coming on board as a new showrunner, who did change a lot. They got rid of old storylines, brought in new characters, and also brought some OG Power vibes, with a mixture of streets and culture of Chicago. But does it have the legs that Ghost does? It depends on how far they decide to take Tommy's journey, and I do think a lot depends on what happens with these crossovers. You know, does Blanca Rodriguez come over to Chicago to hunt Tommy down? Did Cooper Saxe find out that Tommy was alive, and before he got deleted, did he put all the information on this hard drive for Junior Valdez? Because let's not forget, he did know that Tommy was the one who got rid of his Aunt Angela. I'm also sure that DMAC will develop as time goes on, and I wouldn't even be surprised if there was a huge reunion of Tommy, Tasha and Tariq later down the line, and even DMAC meeting his extended family and possibly working together. With Raising Kanan, what else needs to be said? They're sitting on absolute gold dust, and what they've done with Raising Kanan is really difficult to do with a prequel. They've actually managed to get us invested in the entire Thomas family as well as Unique, as well as a few others that weren't in the OG Power series or even mentioned, which is how you emotionally attach the audience to a prequel, raise the stakes, and make us Power fans invested. But as I said before, they are sitting on absolute gold dust with Raising Kanan, because the minute that they introduce Breeze, it's going to break the internet. The minute they introduce a young Ghost and Tommy, again, it's going to break the internet. And what they could do is finish off the Thomas storyline with Raising Kanan, and then maybe branch off into a new show which is then centered around the aftermath, after Rock is gone, after Marvin and Lou are gone, where the focus then shifts over to Kanan running the streets, with Breeze, Tommy and Ghost under them. So as I mentioned before, they're sitting on an absolute winner regardless. And that brings me on to some thoughts and theories around what spin-off shows that they could potentially introduce in the future. I do think the Breeze, Young Ghost and Tommy could be one of them. I think it would be smart to close off the storyline with the Thomas family inside 5 or 6 seasons. Give us a few teasers and Easter eggs of them being around the neighborhood like they have done, and then hit us right at the end of the show by introducing them.
Hey, yo, come on, we gotta move this way. Kanan's gonna be looking for us. So he's gonna introduce us to Breeze tonight.
Hi, I'm ready.
Mobile games are going big. Play the official.
Now moving on to Omari Hardwick. We all know he's been on record to say a lot of things about his time on Power, but the most recent was an interview where he said Stars asked him to come back. They went back and forth around ideas. Omari Hardwick said he went back to them asking them on this, and then this, but nothing ever materialized. And reading between the lines, I do think it came down to maybe what Omari was asking for, and I do think the storyline also matters. He also previously said that it would just have to be the perfect thing for him to return. The storyline would have to be perfect, and he wouldn't mind coming back in a prequel to show another side to Ghost, because in essence, even though we had Ghost on our screens for what, 6 seasons, can we honestly say we knew who this character was? I mean, just have a look at Tariq. He's finding out more about his father now than he did when he was alive. And that's a huge testament to the writing team and also Omari Hardwick for his portrayal of Ghost, where he managed to show us these different sides, but where we're still questioning his chess moves, his mindset, his background and past, and that's what I think Omari Hardwick wants to go deeper with. So could one of those spin-offs ideas involve Omari Hardwick in a prequel show? Now I also know a lot of people are kind of holding on to the hope Ghost is still alive, and look, I have made my feelings clear before. I do think he remains dead, but this is also TV, and we've all seen what they've done with Unique, Lauren and countless of other examples. If they
This art, like what they said, Unique said, if that body don't show up, he ain't dead. So people get that notion out their head, man. If that body don't show up, he ain't dead.
really wanted to bring him back, I'm sure they could find a way, and it really would break the internet. However, would he want to come back as an alive character? I think that's a different question. Just like Omari said, it would have to be the perfect storyline for him to return. And I personally don't feel that's a storyline with him being alive. I think that ship has long gone and sailed. And a prequel story before we met him at Club Truth would make a lot of sense for his character. And it'd definitely be something I'd be down to see. Let's be real, anything Omari Hardwick power related, we're all gonna watch it regardless of what it is, alive or dead. So let's see if any of these spin-offs do bring him back. Now, another spin-off idea that has done the rounds for a while is a UK-based spin-off. And I do have to admit, there is a market. Top Boy is done, there is Gangs of London, but apart from that, there isn't much in the UK in terms of the gritty, grimy streets. Now, what I would have to say...
Why you keep talking about that shit, bro? Like, again, I don't know if this true, but somebody said they seen ghosts with Tommy on set. So how is the fucking spinoff? And I don't know, man. He gonna come back alive if that body don't show up. He ain't dead.
Say is, if it was set in London, if they do want to keep it semi-realistic, then there would have to be a few changes. I mean, London is arguably the most watched city in terms of surveillance. There's also different laws when it comes to possessing.
I don't know, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section, man. Do y'all think Ghost is dead? Do you think he alive? But personally, for me, man, I think he's alive, man. Personally, though. But y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Roll to 1 million. We out of here. Gang.